One thing we are focusing on today is people in Boulder County as they start that recovery process after that devastating wildfire in the area. Hundreds of people lost their homes and everything they had inside of them. So how do you deal with all of this? Well, our 9 News wellness expert and psychotherapist and our good friend Heather Hans joining us this morning. Heather, good morning to you. Thank you so much for helping us with this. We very much appreciate it.
Oh, good morning, Jordan. I'm happy to help, though sorry it's under these circumstances.
Yeah, we always wish we could talk to you under a much better circumstance, but this is important. So let's start off by just how you can talk about that grief process.
Sure. So for most people, grief is an unpredictable process that may never fully be completed, but it does usually change over time, making the situation easier to handle. And the way that people grieve depends on their personality, their attachment style, age, culture, genetics, spirituality, what type of loss it was. And so everyone grieves a little differently, but most people are still able to experience joy and happiness even during times of acute grief.
And you know, Heather, we've talked about the resiliency and the strength of a lot of the people who've been affected by this, and you can just somehow find joy in their faces even with all this happening. But we also know that it's got to be really tough for them, and at moments when they just can't find happiness during these hard moments, how can they go about doing that?
Absolutely. So one thing is to focus on realistic yet positive thoughts and behaviors. Like you said, I mean, losing your home and everything in it in a fire is devastating, but researchers have found that at least 40% of our happiness comes from our thoughts and our choices, regardless of our circumstances. So people should really just focus on one small baby step at a time, focus on family, and also doing something with your hands that's creative, like writing or some type of art therapy can increase happiness. Another thing to do is make giving happiness a priority because emotions spread through social networks, and researchers have found that people's happiness is heavily influenced by helping other people to feel happy. And that's because we have a psychological need for closeness, and generosity helps us feel close. And then one other tip is to talk about positive experiences with other people because it's not only shown to make us happier, but it also gives people more energy and makes them feel healthier, which people affected by this fire really need at this time. And if you just talk about the fire and the disaster, it causes kind of a trauma bond and it reinforces the negative. So try and talk about things that are positive, like experiences that you've overcome in the past, or what steps you're taking now to overcome. Or if someone else is inspiring you, you could talk about that, what you didn't lose, what is going well. Things like that can be much more inspiring and help people feel happier.
Yeah, that hope is certainly contagious. And Heather, there's a population of people involved in all of this that it's really tough, and we want to talk about them now. What about our children? How do you start that conversation?
Oh, that's a really good question. First of all, I want to say that there's a program called I Matter, and they're offering free counseling sessions for kids. But kids really learn from what adults are doing and what their parents are doing. So you want to maintain that hopeful, optimistic attitude. You want to be realistic, but also let them know that you're triumphant and that you will overcome this, and they'll follow your lead. But also give them options for people to talk about, or for people that can help them talk through it with. There's psychologytoday.com, or a Colorado-based company called Sondermind. They offer therapists. There's also the Colorado Crisis Services, and Jewish Family of Boulder County is offering 5 free sessions of therapy to families in need.
All right, Heather Hans, thank you so much for your perspective and your advice. We very much need your professionalism right now, so we appreciate you waking up with us.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Jordan. You too.